how you doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads or youtube.com/Ice Cream Uploads or one of the podcast services. My name is Graham Day, and I'm joined by the man that we call Bibby. Alred?
No.
No.
No. Yeah, I'm absolutely fine,
No.
Graham. My right calf isn't. Injured at training last night, but apart from that, we're all good, baby. We are all good.
So we've just done the pre-show. Usually we get most of the stuff out of the way in the pre-show, but I wanted to save one bit for the main show, and that was Bibby's just touched on it. Then football. Bibby tweeted out yesterday that AFC Stockport, who Bibby plays for, have a poll. Who do you want taking the penalties for AFC Stockport? And Bibby was like 36% of a vote in a two-man vote. Yeah. The other dude had like 60-odd%. What the fuck? So
there's a lot of new faces at that club since I last played there 4 years ago. So I'm guessing the people who voted for me are the people who are still there that I played with. The other guys are like, why do I want this fat bastard taking a penalty? But they don't know. They don't know how good I am. So yeah, it did get skewed. However, do you know? Have you seen the recent update?
Well, that's what I was going to get to. So the last time I saw it, it was 52% in favour of Bib this morning. So I went on. When Bibby posted it on Facebook, and I was like, "What the fuck? No way, we're having an ICU boy losing this." So I went on, fucking voted for Bibby as myself. Switched over to the ICU Instagram account, voted for Bibby there. Switched over to Jelly Media, voted for Bibby there. Went to Bibby and get that fucking thing tweeted out so we could get that shared with everyone else. Spoke to Nietzsche last night, made him go on and vote for it as well. So yeah, nice. If you've got an Instagram account, please feel free to search for AFC Stockport.
I'll get the link. Don't you worry, Graham.
Nice. Link dropping in chat. If you're watching this later on, and you don't have the link in front of you, it's probably gone by then. But if not, just search for AFC Stockport and look at their story posts. Yesterday it was the second story post, so it might still be that. It might be the first. I don't know what time they posted it. It could be gone or going soon. So make sure you get involved. There you go. Link in the chat.
Oh, Nietzsche's already done it. Legend.
Oosh. So yeah, story posts. Vote for. Bibby is Michael Meehan, by the way. I know that's confusing as fuck. He doesn't actually have Bibby in his name anywhere, but Michael Meehan, that's the one you want to vote for. Not the other guy. Has it gone?
Oh, it's gone now. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, that's a big dub for Bib. 52% of the votes. Let's go, Bibby!
Yeah. I love that.
Okay, jump through the chat just to shout everyone out here. JMK's in. P Honey's in, Nietzsche's in, Enzo. Hey, my name's Enzo.
Alright, pal, my name's Enzo. This is what I sound like, alright? Yes, great, Van Derby, does it?
Genuinely, that could have been a soundbite. That could have been me hitting a button to, like one of these.
Brexit.
That could have been one of them. That is literally what Enzo sounds like, 100%. Can I vote for the other guy on this link? Not anymore! Fuck you, Tito. I'm the #1 mod. Yeah, Tito wasn't that the other day. I accidentally banned him. I didn't accidentally ban him. I banned him on purpose, just to dramatic effect, but then couldn't unban him from being a mod. I couldn't give him the mod sword back for about fucking 30 minutes because Twitch was like, I don't know, why would you want to give someone you've just timed out the mod sword? Anyway, we got there. Anyway, so yeah, please do feel free to vote for Bib on something that you can't vote on him. That's very much of a good request. I probably should have fully researched that before I did one of those emotive pleas to the chat, but there we are. This is Ice Cream Uploads. Hey. And speaking of that, this is Ice Cream Uploads, and this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. We aren't here to talk about Bibby's footballing skills. That is available on twitter.com or x.com if you want to be one of those. / We've Got Babinho. Nice. You can check his footballing adventures out this weekend. But for now,
we did actually get some requests, Graham. I know it's a small tangent here, but we did actually get some requests when we was playing eFootball last week. They want the games to be streamed, but I can't do it. So I said, what I might do is just leave my phone on the sideline on a nice day, stream it to Discord, and then you might be able to modify it and put it out on the stream. Obviously, unsavory language to aside, which is my biggest issue as to why I wouldn't want to stream it in the first place, because it's Sunday League, a lot of unsavory characters, a lot of things that are completely out of our control with what's being said, and I wouldn't want that being broadcast on our channels. However, being put into the Discord, I think might be it is a safer way of being able to distribute a live feed.
Now, the main problem is, like, imagine my shot is a big grass field, and you see, kick it, go fucking kick it, kick. Oh, it'd be more like, kick it. Fucking here, through, it's through, and then all you see is like fucking Hands grab hold of the phone and disappear. We get live streamed at the inside of someone else's pocket, just mooching off through Stockport. I can see it, you dickhead.
Yeah, I mean that could. I mean, to be fair, where the pitches are, it's quite. It's on the back of an industrial estate, so it's not particularly people friendly, shall we say? Like unless you were playing football there, I don't think you'd be going that far down. So yeah, it's just the people who go on there. I don't know whether or not it'd be a good idea, but I'd love to be able to do it. One game a week gets recorded, but there's 13 teams and there's like 8 Sunday League teams, so it's whether or not we'd be in that rotation.
Well, do you know what? I think like we should, when Bibby inevitably gets to the Champions League final with one of these 13 teams for AFC Stockport, because that's very, very possible for those that don't understand football. I know there's a lot of American listeners to the Scoop podcast, and your only real barometer for football is Welcome to Wrexham. And they always do let's remind you of the footballing pyramid. Basically, Bibby plays at the very pinnacle. Imagine the Super Bowl. That is where Bibby plays football. So yeah, basically,
Confirmed.
When we get the Super Bib, the Bib Bowl on, then we'll broadcast that live.
Absolutely, there will be an opportunity. Well, there'll be several opportunities this year to be able to play at decent. I say decent playing at football grounds, whether or not that be like Ashton, playing at Hyde United, playing at wherever it might be around here, because we're playing in the Hyde and Oldham League. There will be opportunities where if we get to like a semi-final or a final, we'll be able to play at those stadiums. So that might be something that we can actually be able to broadcast, because we're in a better place for it to be able to happen. You can use Wi-Fi and you can use all that shit.
Once again, for the footballing fans around the world, obviously a lot of American listeners, and we are the #1 podcast for games in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Ashton Stadium, you may be thinking, well, I've not heard of that. That is basically what the Allianz Arena was based on. So, yeah, let's go, baby.
Imagine a Sunday League pitch with one stand. There you go, there's Ashton. Shithole.
You love to see it, mate. You love to see it. Anyway, football aside, do feel free to keep your eyes on that. I mean, we'll keep mentioning it because it's stuff. But what also is stuff is video games. So we are here to talk about the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories to the world of video games and beyond. And we'll be doing that for the next hour or so, plus giving you our thoughts and impressions. But we also want to hear your thoughts and impressions, and then your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. That's kind of how the whole thing works. Please do feel free to get involved. We may be live on Twitch, where you can get involved, but we also turn the live stream into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud, and not SoundCloud because I always keep fucking that one up, honestly. God, it's Amazon Music and Google Play. So basically, lots of places where over 200,000 people have watched and listened to this podcast. So please do feel free to get involved on behalf of those people. 98% of them confirmed are from Bosnia and Herzegovina, but we love you all the same. But yeah, please do feel free to get involved. Before we jump into any of the news, though, a quick reminder that we do have a loot drop. So if you are watching this thinking, do you know what, this content is world class, and you sat there with an anxious, nauseous feeling that an advert might come and ruin your viewing experience, well, use your Twitch Prime sub to this channel for free, because not only do you get yourself rid of that anxious feeling that an ad will come and ruin your viewing experience, but you'll also get yourself entered into our loot drop, which is a monthly giveaway where we give something back to everyone that supports the stream, because we appreciate your support. So we want to support you for supporting us. Support. Nice.
Love that.
Love to see it. Also, shout out to our sponsors, GT Omega, Astro / Logitech G, the homies at Insert Coin, and any other channel sponsors out there. We appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. You're all beautiful people. But for now, let's jump into some video game news and the split screen. Mr. Bibb.
Hello.
Today is like the day after the day before. And that's obviously that's every day, but from the world of video games, the day before was a pretty big day. Out of nowhere, random Thursday, halfway through September, became the day where both PlayStation and Nintendo thought, fuck it, we're having some direct-to-consumer video conferences where we're going to talk about all our video games that are coming up for Christmas. What the fuck? So out of nowhere, we had a PlayStation State of Play and a Nintendo Direct within a few hours of each other. Did you manage to watch either of them?
Yes, I managed to watch a little bit of the Nintendo one, but obviously the one that interested me more was the PlayStation one. It aired last night at 10 p.m. UK time. So by the time I got in from training, I had to rewind it because it was like 10:30. So yes, I didn't watch it real time, but I did catch it up on demand literally straight after it finished. But yeah, I've got some thoughts and opinions, Graham. I understand that you also watched it this morning as well to be able to catch up in time for this news article. So I'm interested to hear what your thoughts and impressions are on this as well.
Well, I will share those just after we've gone through this. So this is a roundup from Taylor Lyles at IGN. And if you can see the scroll bar, if you're watching any of the video content on this, it's quite a long scroll bar. So we've tried to do this a few times where we've gone through the full article and then we've come back a little bit later on. And I'm going to stop talking because Big Ham... I'll read, Peter, no!
Alright, welcome into the stream. My name's Big Hamish, and for some reason I sound exactly the same as Enzo. Alright.
Oh, they're all Scottish, aren't they? So
Yeah, all the same.
all exactly the same.
All exactly. I love you, Big Ham. Thank you very much for the raid. Thank you very much, everyone. How was Starfielding this morning? I did do a little bit of scanning across the people playing Starfield this morning. I don't tend to stick around for too long because I don't want to see too much. So yeah. Was it? Even I can't understand Enzo. So was it just Starfield? Did you do any PUBGing as well? Because yeah, as I dropped by, you were Starfielding, so I kind of moved on again. I was going to do the same with Wobbles. I've just been talking about Wobbles actually. Wobbles was on Starfield, but decided to take the piss out of him instead. You know, it's Wobbles. You got to do a little bit of that. You got to do a bit of that. But yeah, appreciate it. Katie, good morning. How was the Did it end up being like 30-hour stream for your birthday the other day? How did you get on? And so, does that have a finger up? No, it doesn't. It's the headphone on the end. I thought because it was tiny on my screen, I thought it was like ha ha ha, knobhead, like Paul Scholes sort of like stuff. But yeah, 35 hours, nice. Okay, well, strap yourselves in. We are just jumping into our first news article. This is the scoop. So we do play video games on the channel. But we also talk about video games on the channel. We work in the video games industry, so that's the reason why we play games, but talk about them quite a bit as well, because some of it is stuff that we work on, some of it isn't. We try to not let that stuff cloud our judgments and things as much as possible. But yesterday as a whole, had a lot of content. So PlayStation came out big and strong with their State of Play for September 2023. So that was a big roundup of all the PlayStation games that are due to be coming out in the foreseeable, but also that followed a Nintendo Direct that happened earlier in the day where Nintendo did a similar sort of thing. So we're going to jump through all of that stuff. This is an article by Taylor Lyles at IGN that we're going to cover. I was just saying as you came in, there's a big old scroll bar down the side because there's a lot of content. Naturally, it's a 30-minute broadcast, so if I just was to read through this article, I mean, you'd get bored of listening to me. I mean, I'd get bored of listening to me. Plus, I'd be like, so, yeah, there you go. What are your thoughts? And then Bibby would be like, do you remember that second story of the 15 that were in this? Yeah. I'd be like, oh, fuck. So we'll go through it. We might skip some bits if no one's particularly interested. But the key bits we'll talk about. So PlayStation State of Play, September 2023, everything announced. A lot of love for third-party and VR games today. So PlayStation held its latest State of Play showcase, where Sony's gaming arm focused on upcoming indie and third-party games on the way to PlayStation consoles, as well as the PSVR 2 headset. If you missed the event, don't worry, because the scoop has you covered.
Yeah.
As does Taylor Lyles at IGN. This roundup covers all the announcements that appeared during the September 23 PlayStation State of Play showcase. Okay, kick things off. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's out on February 29th, 2024. The last but biggest announcement coming out to today's State of Play was the release date for the second part of Final Fantasy VII's remake. Square Enix revealed that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will release. Nice. Great words. Great wording.
Words.
It will release exclusively on PS5, February 29th, 2024. So not only February 29th is a day that only comes around once every 4 years. That's when they're releasing it. But it's also releasing exclusively on the only real games console out there. I mean, nobody really touches that. What is it called? Egg basket or something? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Don't know. Yeah. I'm pulling your peckers. You came in from a Starfield stream. I had to poke, but it's fine. We don't... Okay, you get the idea. So yes, basically, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth out February 29, 2024. They ended with this. We're starting with this. I assume IGN's going top down in terms of bangers to not. But Thoughts, Bib? Are you a Final Fantasy guy?
To a very small degree, I'm a Final Fantasy guy. I do enjoy playing Final Fantasy games. I think the last one that I played was 14, the one that was on Xbox 360. I've got the new Final Fantasy 16. I'm yet to play it. I've got Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I'm yet to play it. So I've just got so many games to play at this moment in time. But yes, for all intents and purposes, if someone says, am I a fan? Then yes, I am. I do play them. I'm not a hardcore super fan. I don't know the lore of every single character, every single weapon that has ever been in the game, but I do enjoy playing Final Fantasy games. This being a PlayStation 5 exclusive is massive for PlayStation.
Echoing that sentiment, Forney says, "Fuck! I need a PS5 now."
Yeah, you do.
So yeah, I mean, this. I don't really know where Square Enix sits because obviously Final Fantasy VII was a PlayStation exclusive by proxy because it was released that long ago, PS1. So obviously they enjoyed that. I don't know whether that's factored into this, whether it was something PlayStation had leaned on, bought, funded, or any of that. So I don't have the details on that. But massively hyped for a lot of people. There you go. Forney says Final Fantasy VII was my second favourite game ever. What's number one, P Honey?
That's a good question.
Give the details. So Final Fantasy VII, a huge game in size and reception. So this game is 2 discs on the PS5, I think it says at the end of the trailer. So it will come in
2 discs?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, madness.
Well, the original Final Fantasy VII was 4 discs.
Yeah, I
for
remember
Christ's
that.
sake.
And 1 full memory
Mental.
card, 15 different memory card slots. You had to have your own memory card to play Final Fantasy.
We're going to need a new SSD by the sound of this.
So, yeah, massive game, exclusive to PlayStation. And like Square Enix is kind of all over the place, aren't they? Have they just been bought out by Embracer not too long ago? And then I'm pretty sure I saw something, a headline or something the other day, saying that since 2016, Square Enix's value has dropped by $2 billion. And I don't know if that's something to do with being bought out and restructured or selling off games. I don't know if that's been part of it. I mean, they have sold on games, like the Hitman franchise was sold from Square back to IO Interactive, the developers kind of thing. So they have been doing bits. And there was rumours that they were putting themselves up for sale to get picked off by a PlayStation or something before Embracer came in. But yeah, all over the place. So good stuff, bad stuff, confusing stuff. And even though exclusive to PlayStation, this has surely got to be hotly anticipated.
Yeah, absolutely. Final Fantasy is a console seller, regardless of whether or not me and you both play it or not. It's a global IP that has been around since the dawn of time. It's one of the old school. So people who are 50, 60 years old would have first played it when they were 30. Do you know what I mean? They're still looking forward to getting involved in Final Fantasy again. It is an absolute system seller. There's very few IPs that you'd think, okay, people will genuinely buy this console for, but Final Fantasy, my personal opinion, is one of those.
There you go. Available worldwide. Words, great stuff. Available worldwide. February 29th, 2024. On 2 discs, it says on screen there. So yeah, you fancy some disc swapping like it's PS1? Let's go, baby. There you go. What if you buy this digitally? How fucking is it like you're talking about new SSD? You're definitely venturing into that sort of area. 12's just typed exclamation mark uploads. For some reason it didn't work, but I got you. Uploads. What size will it be to download then? Yeah, exactly. Huge. So yeah, I've never been a big Final Fantasy guy, to the point where Final Fantasy VII was a bit like Street Fighter 2 was for me for a long period of time. I played fucking tons of Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and all the rest of the stuff. But was always like, whatever happened to Street Fighter 1? Because obviously we didn't really get it over here. It was an arcade sort of thing. We only really got Street Fighter 2 on home consoles, and I was only tiny, so I didn't know I have the access to that. So I just thought, fuck it, we just started at 2. How did they know? Yeah, exactly. So I was thinking, okay, Street Fighter 2 is the first one. Final Fantasy 7 must have just been the first one. But even to this point now, I assume there was a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, but didn't know and didn't really care. All I knew was that 7 came out of nowhere, and pretty much everyone I know played a big part of this. So, yes, it is split into 2, though. So there is Final Fantasy Rebirth, and then there's another part of the game or something. I don't know. I don't know if they've split into 2 names. There was something we covered a while ago. If anyone knows the details, please do feel free to clue us up. Not entirely sure. But yeah, Final Fantasy Rebirth coming out February 29th, 2024. Hyped. I mean, they can't celebrate the anniversary of that game for 4 more years because the 29th won't exist until 2028. So, great ploy for the marketing team. Nice. Sheep! Hi. How you doing?
How did they know?
It's great. It's great.
It proper makes me laugh. That proper makes me laugh.
Oh, I was chuckling away to myself last night. So when I came back from the wedding on the weekend drunk, I was typing it into his chat. How did they know? Thinking I'm funny as fuck. To be fair, he what's the word?
Enabled.
No, I was going to say endorsed, but it's not that way. He indulged. That's the word. He indulged me. I was like, so I typed it. He said it. We all chuckled. He thought, "Get the fuck out of here, you drunk dickhead." Job's good. Anyway, watching him play last night. I had his stream open for a few hours last night because I was doing my dailies alongside it. And then went back into his stream. And just as I went back into the stream, someone shot him from an off angle, and he was like, how did he know? And I was like, Beautiful, beautiful.
How did they know?
So, yes, thank you, Sheep, for the content. Appreciate it very, very much. Anyway, back into the content. There was, and this is where it starts to get more exciting for me in particular, massively hyped for the new Spider-Man game. Hugely hyped. I watched the State of Play stream this morning in the living room where Danielle was working away, and she was kind of half listening to bits, but when the Spider-Man bits came on, that got her attention because these games are ridiculously good. And if you're a Marvel fan that has an Xbox and hasn't played Spider-Man games, you are incredibly missing out, particularly if you're a moderator on this channel. Sorry, just getting in at Tito. No, exceptional games. If you have the ability to play these games, be it on PC eventually when it comes out or on PlayStation, phenomenal games, and once again looked good. Did you see the Spider-Man stuff? What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it in our Discord. If you're not in the Discord, now would be a perfect time, ramping up to the holiday season, for you to be able to do that and get involved with the conversations that we're having over there, video games and otherwise. But I'm yet to finish a Spider-Man game. I enjoy playing them, but I've not got around to finishing them, unlike, obviously, you, who wants 100% both that and Miles Morales. But this one, I feel, is completely different from the other two. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but the way that this was presented to me, it felt like a completely different. It felt like a reboot. Like I could be way off the mark here, but this game interested me way more. Like, I've never played Miles Morales, but the first one was decent. I enjoyed that. Again, never finished it, but this one, I don't know what it is about it, but it definitely caught my attention more than the other ones. This actually makes me want to sit there and 100% every single area before I move on to the next one. I don't know whether or not that is probably why it entices me more. To
me, like, it looks like the last 2 games, which were phenomenal, and I can't stress that they are up there with like favorite games of all time for me. So the first one, really, really good. You get effortless enjoyment from playing the game, just for playing the game, not doing the missions, not following a storyline, just for dicking around as Spider-Man in a city. Is so satisfying. Then they push that even further with Miles Morales. Miles Morales, for those that doesn't know, has Venom powers. Not Venom. Let me just confirm that. Not Venom like Venom, the symbiote, but electrical powers. So that pushed it to the next level in terms of what you can do within the brawling and the grappling and traversal and stuff like that, but also added much deeper emotive story elements to it for me. And then they've both been pushed together and pushed forward because they do work together. The stories do overlap. It is the same thing, same gaming universe that they're in, and they're now pushing that forward with Venom, as in like Venom, the big Venom, the black symbiote character that you've seen from the films and stuff, that, or comics if you've been around Venom for a million years like a lot of people have. That is now a character or a feature within the game. And you see it on the trailers. Like, if you've seen the trailers and stuff now, you've not only got the supremely cool acrobatic traversal, there is a fucking wingsuit now that both Spider-Man and Miles Morales have. So if you're going around the city, you might get to Central Park, which doesn't have big sky-rise buildings. So one of the problems is, as soon as you stop swinging, you'd hit the floor, and you'd be like, oh, I want to get fucking going again. I don't want to have to, like, leg it through the park like Spider-Man, what's he fucking Spider Run? So they've got a wingsuit now. So if you're in the air, you can glide and it help cover those spaces. So there's a wingsuit which helps with traversal. There's Venom, which has all of the Venom powers, not the Venom Electric, but Venom, the actual symbiote powers, which changes once again the way that you fight. Then you've got all of, like, fucking New York in the first game, but they've added fucking Queens and Brooklyn or whatever it is, which is pretty much the exact same size as the part of New York that they had already. Again, with, like, the bridges that go across. So fuck it, yeah. It just, there's so much to it that I was already hyped for it, and now I am incredibly hyped for it. And yeah, Danielle was like, when does that come out? I was like, October. Yeah. She's like, do you want it for Christmas? I was like, yes, possibly, unless you get it free from PlayStation. I will let you know.
Yeah. So this is definitely a day one purchase for you then, right?
100%. Like, if it's, forgetting the fact that we may get it for free, if I didn't, this is definite purchase for me. Definite purchase, and probably my Christmas game. So yeah, I liked Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Danielle liked Spider-Man and Miles Morales. It'll be something that we play through over 4 or 5 days, constantly over Christmas. Bosh. So instant purchase. Yes. So after Spider-Man, we get onto, actually, Spider-Man. Let me read the content that it says with that. It says, Insomniac Games released a new gameplay trailer for Spider-Man 2, where the biggest takeaway was that over 65 different spider suits will be available. If anyone didn't play the first games, the suits have impacts in terms of different suits can give you different boosts, different powers, and allow you to do things like reduced explosive damage, have more special powers to do super moves and that sort of stuff. Insomniac notes that the original designs, in addition to suits that were depicted in comic books and movies, will be available. So yeah, you'll get the stuff that you used to. The Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man skin that you'll see Tom Holland, that'll be in there. The original suit from the original Spider-Man game will be in there, and so on, and a bunch of other stuff you've seen. Next up, Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways DLC out next week. So Capcom confirmed that its critically acclaimed remake of Resident Evil 4 is indeed getting paid post-launch content in the form of Separate Ways, which releases on September the 21st. Set during the events of Resident Evil 4, players control Ada Wong, who appears a few times in the main story. Did you see this, Bib? What are your thoughts?
I did. I mean, it's just expanding on the story, or filling in the gaps that you'd seen with Resident Evil 4, which we streamed in full on this channel. Go back, I did highlight it for you to be able to enjoy at your own leisure. But yeah, it's just more Resident Evil 4 content. I'm happy with it. Am I going to play it? Yes, but not anytime soon. Excited. I was, to be fair, Graham, I was actually more excited about it. Does it allude to it in this? So I've just tabbed off it. I've got it open here. 1 second. Did it mention about the VR stuff? Because that stuff was so much better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, we did hear that it was going to happen.
I will just quickly jump onto that then. So I'll leave that trailer playing for the Ada Wong DLC there, but after that it says Resident Evil 4 remakes PS VR 2 mode. Actually no, that is the VR mode that's on screen, so they have the video above the content. So the Ada Wong stuff is in the tweet there, the Separate Ways DLC, and then we get onto the VR video. So Resident Evil 4 remakes PS VR 2 mode gets winter release window. We already knew that VR mode for Resident Evil 4's PS5 version was in development, but news has been seldom until today, where Capcom shared a new gameplay trailer along with confirmation that PS VR 2 mode will be available as a free download sometime this winter.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Like the article, the way that it's labeled down was doing me head, and I was clicking underneath, and it's like that's Avatar. Why is that not showing? But the actual the video itself for the VR looks shit your pants scary. Like I keep on bringing it back to what Resident Evil 7 did with the original PlayStation VR. Like that was a system seller in terms of that is the proper experience that you want to be able to have. You can play with a controller, but your actual vision is controlled by your head. Like you want to move around, you want to look around the room, you're doing that with your VR headset. It was one of the best ways to utilize VR. Now, I can't speak about the Meta Quest version of Resident Evil 4, the original one that came out maybe 4 or 5 months ago for the Quest headset. But this, like, if I was to get a PSVR 2, I was and ahhing, this would be one of the reasons as to why I would be getting it. This would be an amazing way to be able to play this game and just terrorize yourself essentially for like 10 hours. Because even the guns, the way that everyone comes towards you and things like that looks amazing. Like this is what PSVR 2 is made for, in my opinion. Games like this. It's
smart as well. So, Resident Evil 7 VR content was a system seller for the PSVR originally, but you kind of feel, I don't know this for certain, but I feel like Resident Evil 4's VR content has been developed in partnership with PlayStation. PlayStation do have some form of R&D fund that they use for developers, be that small indie developers or large global developers like Capcom. I feel like PlayStation have probably funded the development of their VR content with the idea that this comes as a system seller. And then what Capcom have done is put that as a free download for people that buy the main game. So they're getting funded for the VR content, and the VR content is making people buy the main game, so they're getting funds for that as well. So it's kind of a win-win for Capcom. They're making VR content that, if nobody buys, they've probably had some form of R&D costs covered by PlayStation, and if people do buy it, then they're getting sales on the back of their other content as well. So essentially double dipping on the content. So if they don't sell it, they're not out of pocket. So kind of win-win. And I hope it is successful, because I hope the PSVR 2 takes off. I just need PlayStation to drop the price by about 70%.
Yeah, it's very expensive. But I mean, if by the time the PlayStation VR 1 ecosystem was finished, there was a lot of games for you to be able to digest in that. I don't think it has a value for money at this moment in time. If I was to choose between PSVR 2 and the Oculus Quest 2, there's only one choice that I'm having there, and it's the Oculus Quest 2. The amount of games that are available to that, I'm talking AAA games, I'm talking premium high-end one, and then some incredible indie experiences, versus the PlayStation VR 2, which probably has about 10 games at this moment in time. None of them are screaming out and appealing to me as a must-buy. It blows my mind that the PSVR 1 didn't get the move over to the PSVR 2, the games. I'm fairly certain that they would have been compatible in a lot of cases. Even if you just had to buy Move controllers again for the PS5, I'm fairly certain people would have done that to be able to unlock their entire PlayStation VR 1 library. It seems like a completely stupid decision from me, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. It could have been a complete nightmare to be able to move them over. That's the only reason I think why they wouldn't have been able to do it. Or the main reason, probably, Graham, is that they can resell these PlayStation VR 2 games later on down the line again.
Part of me feels like it's the latter one, partially for system software and, taking a little bit of coin themselves, but also to allow developers to get a little bit of coin too, in that sort of sense. Yeah. So when we won an award a couple of years ago for at the MCV Developer Awards, and being MCV developed, there was a bunch of developers there. So I was chatting to a few VR developers, and like in my head, I was like thinking it must be a ball ache. Do I choose to make the game for PlayStation? Do I make it for HTC Vive? Do I make it for all Oculus/Meta products like Quests and so on like that, or what? Valve Index? And I was like, that must be a ball ache. And he was like, actually no, it's not too difficult. It's more difficult to develop the game. It's easier to port it from platform to platform. And I'm not, that doesn't mean I don't have to, I being the developer, I'm not a big studio making big studio games. So I'm on my own, or we'll have a small team of people around us. We made our game, so we will port our game then. And it's easier for us to port a game from one platform to another and then earn money from it. And like the gist of the way he was saying it was like, you're not going to set the world on fire unless you have some breakout success, but you will earn a good chunk of money on Facebook's Meta platforms, and then you port it to PlayStation and you get a good chunk of cash off that, and you put it onto the Valve stuff and you get a good chunk of cash from that, and so on. So part of me was then thinking, oh, maybe this is like, maybe we're thinking, oh, it's just a bit of a fucking chore for the users. But what if PlayStation needs to throw a bone to the developers to keep them interested? It's like, look, you've got your back catalogue, you can just port that again. It's probably going to be easier to port from PlayStation VR1 to PSVR 2, same sort of infrastructure, but you've got more power to play with. So just port it from one to the other, sell it again, get a big chunk of cash, and then that gives you the incentive to carry on developing. So maybe it is some weird anti-consumer but pro-developer move as well. Maybe not. Maybe it's just fucking PlayStation doing PlayStation things and not thinking about backwards and forwards compatibility like everyone else. Well, Xbox, not everyone else, because Nintendo doesn't really do that either. But still, yeah. So maybe it is that. Maybe it is. But anyway, we'll put a pin in that. We'll move forward. So Capcom has announced that PSVR 2 will get some free content for Resident Evil 4 this winter. So if you're looking for something for Christmas, get a PSVR 2, because it's only going to cost you like £7 million. But you will...
firstborn child.
Yes, exactly. But you will get a free game, so winner chicken dinner. And then there is a paid DLC for Resident Evil 4 on top of that. So if you buy the game and then get the free content for the PSVR, you can buy extra DLC too. So Capcom gets all the cash. Nice. Speaking of cash, this is a big money crossover from World of Films into video games. And I must admit, I like Avatar. I like the world of Avatar. Way of Water was all right, but the first Avatar film is great. But the game, I just thought, it's going to be a Ubisoft game. It's going to be, can we really rely on them at the moment? It's either going to be exceptional, and Ubisoft have learned the error of their ways, or it's going to be a bit tedious, so I'm not sure. So I was not unexcited, but I also wasn't excited about Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I'll hit play in the video. Watched this trailer yesterday, and it actually got me hyped. Another one that Danielle turned around to have a look at. Not only did it look beautiful, because it's Avatar was very much CG, so that easily translates to video games. But the story components in it had similar sort of themes to the films, and then you get to see like some of the combat and some of the flying around on whatever the Na'vi bird things that they fly around on. Just look badass. So yeah, I was like open to it, but ambiguous. Whereas now, after seeing this, I am very much like, okay, this might be something. This might be good. So yeah, it's got me excited. Thoughts, babe?
I'm not a massive Avatar fan. I'm not being one of those that just say they're not an Avatar fan for the sake of going against one of the biggest box office generated films of all time. I don't know what it is about it. It just doesn't resonate with me. So the game looked very pretty. It looked decent enough, but it's definitely not a game that I'm going to be installing or playing anytime soon.
Yeet! This bit, if you're watching the video, someone's just jumped off one of the floating islands in Pandora. Yeah, big fan of all of this sort of stuff. Interesting that you didn't like it, though. I genuinely thought, like, all these need is longbows and long shields and swords, and then we've got fucking modern day Skyrim, or it might not be anything like Skyrim, but that's all I see when I see people playing these games. So yeah, interesting. Okay, well I'll play it then. Fine, mate. Comes out 4 days after my birthday, 2 days before your birthday, which is December 3rd for my birthday, just in case anyone was wondering. 3rd of December is my birthday. Nice. It says there, December 7th. 4 days after my birthday.
2 days before mine.
But also 4 days after mine. Nice. Moving ahead, PlayStation showed off, a bit of merch. Oh, thanks, Phony. I didn't realise that you were going to... Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Nice. PS5's Deep Earth Collection introduces new faceplates and dual sense colours. I must admit, this was a bit of a... But why? Sort of moment for me. Because if you don't know it, you can buy a PlayStation and it comes with white faceplates on it. Nice. And already you can buy a blue faceplate for it and a red faceplate for it from PlayStation. And to match that, you can buy a blue and a red controller. Nice. But here we are, where Sony is adding more options to provide some personal flair to your PS5. At today's State of Play, the company announced the Deep Earth Collection, a new line of accessories that includes 3 new colours. Volcanic Red, Cobalt Blue, Adon, I'm assuming that should be and Sterling Silver. These new colours will be available as console covers and DualSense controllers. The red and blue faceplates and DualSense controllers will arrive on November the 3rd, and silver not until January the 26th, 24. It just looks the same but shiny. Like, someone at PlayStation has access to a Dulux colour chart with all of the colours, but someone hasn't realised that they've only got one page of it. They've just got the page that has red, blue, and white. There is none of the anything else. And it's like, oh, well, we can do a different version of red if you want. Different blue, different. Like, why are you just going for the same stuff? I mean, give us a classic PlayStation grey or something like that if you can only do solid colours and not anything else. I mean, there was, within the actual conference, there was the new Spider-Man skin plates and the Spider-Man controller that come out alongside Spider-Man 2. So they can do adventurous stuff, but when it comes to first-party stuff, all they can do is red, blue, white. And, oh no, I tell a lie, we got a pinky purpley thing the other day, other month. I mean, are we going to get shiny pink purple coming soon? I don't know. So yeah, there you go. Oh, it's near the time of year again where Graham steals all of Laser Pen's birthday cheer.
It's my birthday, actually. Get your own, mate.
Or mine in a month and 1 day. Yeah, David's is like one of the setup birthdays for my birthday.
Thanks, David. Nice.
You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. BLP, is it me and you that share the same birthday? Or is it, like, I remember there was at least one. There might have been two people that were, yeah, it is. There we go. All the best people's birthday are on the 3rd.
Fucking BLP knows. He knows.
Nice. Okay. Keeping going with this article, then, we got PlayStation stuff. If you want to reskin your consoles, you can. Not the most exciting skins, if I'm honest. You might be interested in that. For me, it's just like, okay, I'll go from white to shiny white. Great. Nice. This is what opened up the stream, though. I think Enzo mentioned this earlier on. Me and Bibby were talking about it before the stream. But Bennett Fordy's next game, Baby Steps, is out next summer. Bibby did make me chuckle on this. Did you say some people had mentioned it, or are you surprised nobody had mentioned it?
No, I'm surprised that nobody mentioned that. It looks like I did fucking mocap for this game. Bastards.
That is Bibby there, confirmed, if you've not seen. Like, stick an AFC Stockport jersey on it, and literally he could be going in for a fucking shot on goal there. I mean, his legs up, he's taking it down on the knee. There we go. So let me hit play on this. This is not a Graham game, but actually looks like it could be a game that I'm interested in. So they're playing now. So Bennett Fodder, the developer behind Getting Over It, announced that his next game will arrive in the summer of 2024. Published by Devolver Digital, Baby Steps, based on its new trailer, looks a lot like a walking simulator, where players control Nate, who walks this world one step at a time. So it's one of those physics-based games. Like, there's clearly some narrative to it. The dude talks as he goes through it. I'm just gonna pause it now. But the dude talks as he goes through it, and he's kind of narrating what he's going through, and so on. There's clearly a storyline to it. But if anyone's ever played QWOP, that game where you are an Olympic sprinter running down the track, and you've got to use Q, W, O, and P to control the physics of the player's limbs to try and get him running, and then eventually you pick up a bit of speed, and then somehow you always fuck it up and fall over Bosch. That is basically what this is. So, Baby's mooching through some weird landscape, dressed in long johns for some reason, like thermal long johns. He's just woke up after a rough night with AFC Stockport lads. He's clearly just won the Champions League, as we were talking about it earlier on, playing at the Allianz Arena of Stockport. So he's a bit worse for wear. And he looks it, because it's just like one of those weird things. He's got to try and get up this slope, and he keeps falling down, so you've got to use your ingenuity to kind of get... It looks like, for me, it could be a weird as fuck but fun game to try. Just like Getting Over It. If you don't know what Getting Over It is, that's the game that everyone played a few weeks ago, where you've just got this fucking... Oh no, that's Going Up, innit? I'm getting it mixed up with. Or is it Just Up? Only Up. That's it. Only Up is what I'm... So it looks like Only Up to me. I don't actually know what Getting Over It is. It looks like Only Up, the game where you've got to fucking climb up some skyscrapery stuff. That... but with Bibby as your main character.
There is one bit that made me that tickled me though, is when the other guy comes onto the screen and he goes, "Oh, you can use your grapple gun." He goes, "I'm gonna grapple that motherfucker all the way up," and they both just keep on saying, "Grapple that fucker up, grapple that fucker up."
Okay.
Mate, are you okay?
We're on this bit now.
Oh, hey, Mike. No.
Who's called him Mike? They've got the names the wrong way round.
I was just taking a break from my run. So road's out.
Yeah, road's out, but no worries. Grapple points.
Grapple points.
Oh, just grapple. I'll grapple it.
Grapple
Yeah,
it.
just grapple with your grappling hook.
Oh yeah, I'll just grapple that fucker with my grappling hook.
Yeah, no worries. Just grapple that fucker.
I'll just grapple that fucker.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, Salada.
I just grapple that fucker with my grappling hook.
So yeah, there you
It did
go.
tickle me that.
Actually, I actually would like to play this. It looks bizarre. Don't really know why or what, but I'm used to working with Bibby, and he walks exactly like that. So for me, I see this stuff all the time. So it's understandable that I'm going to play this. Bibby doesn't get to see this because he is this. So that's probably why it might not be his cup of tea. But yeah, for me, sign me up. Still younger than me this year again. Yeah, I might be. We'll see. Lol, Bibby, actual. Can't be Bibby. I bet that guy can score a pen. The skateboard bit was a great way to finish this as well. Roll it back just a couple of seconds. So gets on a skateboard using the player physics to push off, and then nice. So there you go. Baby Steps is out next summer. I probably, if I can get hold of it, I'll probably give that a try. It looks like it might be something different. Roblox for PS4 gets an October 10th release date. We covered that the other day, so we'll keep going. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord is out next month for PSVR 2. Big fan of Ghostbusters. This didn't really do much for me. I'm not the biggest fan. I am very open to Resident Evil because, you know, if you're sitting here, baby, you kind of have to be. And the Resident Evil stuff got me more excited than the Ghostbusters stuff. This real Ghostbusters footage was cool, but seeing the actual gameplay stuff, I fast forward to it. It was that like cartoony, like VR vibe. It's easier to make a game in VR if you can drop the visual fidelity. So going to that animated cartoony way is a way of doing it, which just then instantly lost me. It just became Splatoony, and I'm not interested. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, VR games more often than not, if I've got the opportunity to play them, I'll try them because they might be fun. This might be a game that would be fun playing it with other people, but I'm not. I love Ghostbusters, but I am not going out of my way to be able to play this.
Yeah.
If I got the opportunity to be able to play it, I would. But I wouldn't be going out of my way. I wouldn't be taking a day off work to play it anyway, put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, the game is out on October 26th, just in time for Halloween. So if you want to play Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, and you're thinking about doing it on stream, if you've got yourself VR set up, then you can have some content just in time for Halloween. But for me, not getting out of my way. I'm definitely not buying a PSVR 2 for that. Moving on to Helldivers 2. Are you 17 or older? Yes, I am. Play. Helldivers 2 new trailer gives us another look at gameplay plus a release date. February 8th, 2024. Helldivers 2 is out. Did you see this content? What are your thoughts, babe?
Yes, this does actually interest me. Albeit it doesn't look like a PlayStation 5 game. It definitely looks like it was towards the end of a PS3/PS4 game. But it looks a lot like a game that I played quite a lot of. It was like an MMO, and I've completely forgotten the name of it.
It's
Defiance.
Destiny.
It looks a lot like
you
Defiance.
Destiny.
It looks a lot like Defiance. If anyone has ever played that. But yeah, I like these types of games.
I will pass on this one. So yeah, I'll pass this one over to you. You can have this one, babe. I will take whatever it was
cool.
that you went. I'll take Baby Steps. You can have this.
However, he's got that horrible cheesy acting that you get in games that are playing that people are playing co-op in.
Oh,
I'm just about to detonate. Okay, I will take the right flank.
Oh dear.
Just the classic co-op lines.
How do we have this sort of stuff in 2023? People don't believe that you've just had a guy who's just come home from the office and is just jumping on with his mate who's about to go out for a run in a bit, but he's going to play a couple of games now, which shows you that the game's really convenient, that you can just fire it up and then go out for a run and come back to it in a bit. And then they all have friendly banter. No, nobody believes it's happening. Just stop it. Don't. Oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, big plus points for that because it's you don't see it that often anymore. But as soon as you do, you appreciate that we've moved on from this. But it's a nice little Easter egg that it gets thrown around every now and again. So yeah, extra points for that. But I mean, yeah, this is the type of game that I would happily be able to go and play. Big bosses, loads of little minions to get rid of, XP points for your guns and stuff like that. Yes, please. This is my kind of game.
We play banter stuff all the time. You jump in PUBG, we find an M16 and a 2X. There you go, bib. Let's get you on that, and a shotgun. That's all you need now. Fucking let's go. But that's natural. When people go like, "Oh, you know, Brandon, he loves a good pistol. Here, Brandon, is your machine pistol. Come, oh yeah, baby, get me some of that. I really like to pistol the things with the pistols, particularly when they're machine pistols, because it's like pistoling but faster." And it's like, that was tedious. Just shut your fucking mouths. Yeah. Okay, well, it wasn't really a buy for me. It's definitely not a buy from me. This is absolutely not a buy from me, and I'm not going to click play on the trailer because it looks horrendous. Foam Stars is getting an open beta. I mentioned Splatoon.
We featured this before.
Yeah, I mentioned Splatoon. Just do not fuck it. I'll play it while I'm talking, just so you can see it. I mentioned Splatoon a minute ago. This is what happens if Splatoon got in the bath and was just crap. I am not interested in this. I think it's Square Enix. This is why you've lost 2 billion. This on its own. Foamtastic 4v4 party. And it was like, another thing that shouldn't exist in 2023 is these horrendous voiceovers where it's like, do insane cool plays and stuff like that. There you go. Try insanely fun two insanely fun game modes. No. Okay. Foam Stars is a game that you can, if you want to find out about it, research. We'll just move on. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn official announce so it's an expansion for Tales of Arise. It's coming in November, 2 years after the release of the main game. Are you interested in that, bit?
Do you know what? The combat actually looks like my kind of game. I can't get over the art style.
Yeah.
Like, it's... I'm not too
It's a very distinct art style, and that means that it's either for you or it isn't, and it's not my kind of game. So if you are interested in this, please do feel free to let us know. For me, not so much. This is definitely something that Enix or someone will be interested. Speaking of Enix...
Pre-ordered it, mate.
Yeah, he's got the original and he's firing it back up again. Speaking of Enix, Enzo or someone mentioned Enix a minute ago, and I saw it, but then meant to come back to it and then didn't. I can't find it, so no, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Okay, moving on. No, that was it. That's the end of the article. There we go. Now it's all into comments. So, Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn is the last piece of content from this. So this is just PlayStation State of Play. There's a few bits in there. The bits that stand out for me are basically structured in the way the article is. So Final Fantasy is not my kind of jam, so I'll leave that one. But beyond that, we get on Spider-Man 2. The Resident Evil content was cool, and baby steps. That's kind of me. That's my jam. So not packed full of content in there. Spider-Man 2, yes. Baby steps, potentially. Resident Evil, I'm interested in watching Baby play it. So, not a lot in there for me, but for just the state of play, that works for me. So, for me overall, so the state of play was a decent show. A good spread, but genuinely one where there's probably one game, maybe two, that stands out for you. And if there is one game that you're thinking, yes, that's for me, then that is a good conference for me. I did see people like losing their minds over it yesterday. Like, I think it was Game Riot was saying it's a great conference. Nice, I'll take that. I'll give it an A. And then people going, fucking A, what the fuck? And it's like, fuck me, people just like to be negative. If there's one game in there that you're going, that's a definite buy, then that is a state of play well done. So
absolutely. Yeah, I like it when they do that. I like it when PlayStation, Xbox are very good at it. They put on a large show that will hit different genres of people who like to play different types of games. So it won't just be like, this is just all FPS games. This is all action adventure games. This is all platforming games. I mean, they're few and far between nowadays anyway, but we'll get onto it with the Nintendo stuff. But theirs is always around like platforming or adventure games. But PlayStation and Xbox, they do like to mix it up, and I feel like that is the only way that you're ever going to be able to get a decent showcase. Otherwise, if it was just this one's all action adventure, then people aren't just going to tune in, are they?
Yeah, like, I mean, the fact that they've got Final Fantasy VII, Spider-Man, Resident Evil, and then a little bit of a roundup in there. It's very possible that someone watching this is buying 3, 4, 5 games. For me, it's 1.5 or 2 games. Maybe I might buy possibly 2.5. But if they get 2.5 sales per viewer, 1.5 sales per viewer of the State of Play content, then they're absolutely quids in. So yeah, great show for me overall. Nice. Okay, so that is the State of Play content. Let me just get rid of the discussing now segment of the screen, so we can jump over to our next one. This one I'll try fly through a little bit quicker because obviously we did spend a good chunk of time talking about PlayStation there. But Tom Phillips at Eurogamer has the next article which says everything shown in today's Nintendo Direct. Peach, Paper Mario, Luigi, F-Zero. Nice. So today's Nintendo Direct was one for the Nintendo faithful, with remakes and remasters from classic franchises aplenty and a star turn for Princess Peach. The Direct's lineup, including an F-Zero 99 announcement and big finale, a port of the beloved Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, were fan-pleasing addition to Switch's bulging catalogue, and they are perhaps the kind of smaller announcements we'd expect at this point for a platform widely expected to be replaced next year. Still, as we saw, there's plenty of life left for the next 6 months ahead and beyond. Top of the bill for me, obviously this is from the article, so the tone is changing a little bit now because this one does give you a little bit of variety. We might jump off through bits, but it's written from his perspective rather than just an overview hands off. So top of the bill for me was Princess Peach Showtime, which sees the Mushroom Kingdom's royalty take the stage and dress up in different costumes to unlock themed special attacks. Peach can become a sword fighter, ninja chef, and more. It's out on 22nd of March 2024. As highly requested remakes go, they don't come much bigger than Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, which I'll hit play on the video now. It remains the pinnacle of the Paper Mario series and is a GameCube classic, well worth bringing to new audiences on Switch. Nintendo was vague on a release date, however, saying only that it will arrive at some point in 2024. F-Zero fans had their patience rewarded by F-Zero 99, another take in Nintendo's online Battle Royale series. It launches for Switch members online today. I'll just hit play on F-Zero so you can see a little bit of that as a jump forward. And speaking of remakes, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a remake of the 3DS game, is now listed for a summer 2024 launch, and that's the furthest out of any Switch game. Mario vs. Donkey Kong jumps from the Game Boy Advance. Let me just fast forward this so you can see more of the F-Zero 99. Nice! Okay, we'll move ahead. Mario vs. Donkey Kong jumps from Game Boy Advance to Switch on the 19th of January. Play, motherfucker. Oh, it is doing. It's just got the fucking stupid thing over the screen. There we go, it's playing. With its dinky puzzle combat also available to play in local multiplayer. Then the cult classic Another Code, which is from the DS, and its sequel will head to Switch next year as a remastered single release. It's called Another Code Recollection. I can say recollection then, but I'm assuming it's recollection. And launches on the 19th of January. Okay, we'll stop there because that's what this is billing as the big bits in there. So we've got Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, F-Zero, which is F-Zero 99, then Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, and Mario vs. Donkey Kong plus Another Code. What out of those stands out for you, babe?
Paper Mario. I've only ever played one Paper Mario game, and I think it was on the Nintendo, the Game Boy Advance. Could be completely wrong there. Or it could have been 2DS. I can't remember. It was an awful long time ago. Enjoyed it. A Super Mario RPG would have been top of my list, but yeah, it's a Paper Mario. It's a decent enough game. I never played the GameCube one, so it's nice to be able to see that coming back through. A bit of F-Zero. Do like F-Zero. I don't know whether or not it's going to work this day and age now. I feel like that's kind of a game. It's like bringing out a Wipeout game. Like, they were good for the time. I don't know whether or not they're going to have any kind of market share anymore, which is unfortunate. Some Luigi's Mansion maybe, but Mario and Donkey Kong, I've just never really been that much of a fan, if I'm being honest. Doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, I mean, F-Zero I definitely played a lot of on the SNES. But I 100% am not interested in playing it now. And I feel like it's one of those where it's almost like the game's journalists are happy about it, but I don't know if it will transition through to the actual gamers, so to speak. So the people that are writing your news and content around it are psyched for it, and that often leads to people going, "Yeah, I'll buy this. I'll get involved." But F-Zero, I agree with Bib. For me, I can see people I know being excited about it in the industry, but beyond that, I can't see nephews, relatives, cousins, uncles that don't have that old school link to it. I can't see them going out and playing F-Zero. Mario versus Donkey Kong, I can see that being a Switch game, just because it's got that a Switch game. When I say that, I mean a successful Switch game. I can see that doing well because it looks great and it's got characters that you know and game styles that you know and so on. So that kind of works for me. F-Zero 99, not so much. Paper Mario, yeah, 100%. Looks like a real great port, and it's Paper Mario. It's easy to make something paper transition to modern formats, so it's not going to be the hardest port for them to make that look HD, upscaled, and modern. Another code, Recollection, pass. I don't have any input on that one, so I will slide past that one very quickly. Just shout out Kraken in the chat. Hey! How you doing?
Good morning.
It's a great show. You can get
Afternoon,
Xbox fanboys tempted to buy a PS, and it did so for me. So tempted. Nice. So there you go. The PlayStation Showcase clearly was successful because it got phony tempted. What about this then? We'll go through the rest of this phony. Has any of this stuff got you tempted? So we've got Paper Mario, which looks good, honestly. The Princess Peach Showtime, which... we don't have a specific trailer for that in here, so we can't show you that one. I'll leave that one. You can obviously go and check that out yourself. F-Zero 99, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Luigi's Mansion on Switch is great, by the way, so excited to see how far they take Luigi's Mansion 2. Another code Recollection, and obviously Mario versus Donkey Kong. But then... we also got a look at Detective Pikachu, who returns. Detective Pikachu returns due October 6th. Splatoon 3's next DLC pack, Side Order, which is due spring 2024. WarioWare Move It coming 3rd November, and Super Mario RPG due the 17th of November. Nintendo will wrap up its Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC at some point this winter with a final set of tracks, including Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii and the addition of Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, don't know who that is, and Peachette. A box version of the DLC will also be available. I assume Pauline is some form of dinner lady and will come with an apron.
I was about to say, yeah, it definitely works behind the deli counter.
And a quick Amiibo update. Zelda and Ganondorf Tears of the Kingdom figures launch on the 3rd of November. Noah and Mio from Xenoblade 3 arrive on the 19th of November. And Sora from Kingdom Hearts completes the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate lineup sometime next year. So that's the first party announcements. Then we get to third party, i.e. the ones not made directly by Nintendo. So away from first party announcements, there's a remastered set of Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 coming to Switch on the 14th of February. Hit play on this now. Fuck. The game's original polygon graphics are also available as an option, so you can play as Lara Croft running around smoothed out for Switchers, or as the original polygon style if you want that too. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown launches a Switch on the 18th of January. Unicorn Overlord from 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim developer Vanillaware launched on the 8th of March. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes launches on the 23rd of April. Square Enix's Saga Emerald Beyond also arrives on Switch next year. The Meme-tastic Trombone Champ launches today, while Dave the Diver, which is a game that's smashing it on Steam, by the way, if you've not checked it out, do feel free to check that out, arrives on the 26th of October. Eastwood Octopia is a delightful looking expansion to Chucklefish's farming live game due this winter. I did see lots of people in it because I watched parts of this live when the Eastwood stuff were on. They were like, is it not Farmville? What's the other one? It begins with an S.
Animal Crossing.
No, like there's a game that everyone always plays on fucking
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley, that's it, yeah. So everyone's like, oh, Stardew Valley content, yay! So yeah, Eastwood, Octopia, Stardew Valley. This is a couple that we knew about, so I'm not going to stay on this too long because, you know, work stuff.
Please do. Please do.
Oh, okay. Konami's musical Super Crazy Rhythm Castle launches on the 14th of November. I'll jump into the screen where you can see Bibby because he was pumping the air then, so... There he is.
Come on!
Yeah. So Super Crazy Rhythm Castle launches on the 14th of November. A reimagining of the original Contra, now dubbed Contra Operation Galuga, comes to Switch in early 2024. Okay, we'll jump back towards for this one because we're offering our thoughts there. Genuinely, like we work across a bunch of games, and we don't tend to give our thoughts and opinions because they might be good, they might be bad, and we don't want to sway people's opinions and so on. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle is a game that we are paid to have opinions on, so they aren't our thoughts, and these are clearly the words of Konami, our overlords, and not us at all. No, not all. We're not paid to give you our opinions on Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, but we are paid by Konami, so choose that, take that however you want. But Super Crazy Rhythm Castle is a rhythm game, so therefore not my kind of game. Definitely Bibby's kind of game, because you've seen him play Guitar Hero and things like that. However, Super Crazy Rhythm Castle is not just a rhythm game. It's a puzzler sort of game. So if you've liked things like Guitar Hero or any other games that have a little bit of rhythm and needing to hit the beats on time, but you like something like Overcooked, where you've got a bunch of people playing co-op and you've got to do things in sync with each other or you fail, mix the two together, that is this game, but with some fucking badass songs. Genuinely, Super Crazy Rhythm Castle is not a game I should like, but I do like that game. So, yeah, keep your eyes out for that one. It could be a game that does bits. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I absolutely. Like, I genuinely couldn't have said it better myself. Like, this is I can't... I'm very wary about what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say, even though the game's out in the wild now, but I'll keep my cards close to my chest with stuff like this. But this game, ever since I managed to get my hands on this game, I have been desperate to be able to talk about it. This is the kind of game that I genuinely would be double dipping for. I would be playing this on my PlayStation 5 on my own, and then getting it on my Nintendo Switch so I can play it downstairs in the front room with Samantha. Like, this game is going to be the next party game. Like, you want to talk about things like Among Us, I don't think Among Us is that much of a great game. It absolutely relies on the people who you're playing with to make that game bearable. It's not my kind of thing, but imagine Overcooked with music. Like, Overcooked is so fucking stressful, especially when you're both trying to do things at the same time, but you might have just told someone, I might have said to Samantha, like, I need you to go and chop the lettuce, but at the same time I'm flipping two burgers and doing the patties, doing the bread and things like that. Like, it relies on you knowing what you're doing whilst at the same time figuring out the puzzles that are going on around you. It's not just about hitting the music at the right time, it's about all the other things that are happening in the room at the same time. So being able to play this, if you've got the opportunity to be able to play it as a couch co-op, that is the best way to be able to play this game. But genuinely, when this game comes out, I will be streaming this game. I will be finding people to play this game with, just so I can show you guys. We play games on this channel to show you guys. So if you don't want to waste your money on buying games, you don't have to, but chances are if we're streaming a game, it's a game that we absolutely encourage you to want to be able to go out and buy or play, because we enjoy playing those games and we can showcase them for you. This is absolutely one of those games, and I can't wait to be able to show more of it as and when it comes out.
Yep. 100%. David says, does it have rhythm is a dancer? Is that it? Is that your only go-to? You had the word rhythm in. So you could have gone for rhythm of the night as well. This is the oh god, never mind. No.
But the beauty of this, by the way, is there's going to be a lot of songs in there that you never would have heard of before that will get stuck in your fucking brain.
They are. The thing is, though, like most songs from video games that stuck in your brain, some of them are good, and some of them are good over time because they're so bad, and they get your rose-tinted glasses and stuff. We all know football games that have had those. But genuinely, there is some absolute hidden gems in this. Whoever has done the music scouting for Super Crazy Rhythm Castle has done a phenomenal job. The music in it is really, really good. But obviously, take our word for it. You don't have to, should I say, take our word for it. Do feel free to check out. It has had media days and stuff now, so there is press previews and thoughts out there already. So you can go and read what people think of Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. And it's out not too long, 14th of November. After that, moving ahead, Contra, obviously I mentioned Operation Glue comes to Switch in early 2024. We don't know anything about that beyond that. So, yeah, we'll just move past that one. League of Legends spin-off song Nunu, a Song of Nunu, a single-player story-driven adventure due 1st of November, and Bandle Tale, a cute-looking crafting RPG due in 2024 was shown. We also glimpsed Horizon Chase 2, an online racing game out today, War Tales, a tactical turn-based title out today, and Spixana, Operation Memories, an arty story-based game due next year. And last but not least, a map named Fungal for Among Us in October. Bibby is right, though. Among Us is a great game, but because it's not a great game. It's a great situation builder that allows you to project your personalities into it. And if you've got people with good personalities, it's an excellent game. But it gives you the tools for a great game. You are the game. You just don't know it yet. So yes, that is everything shown in today's Nintendo Direct. Peach, Paper Mario, Luigi, F-Zero, Super Crazy Rhythm Castle, and a whole lot more. We can share the links to the articles if you want them. The first one was from IGM, the second one was from Eurogamer. If you want that, we can share that with you. We also have a story about Cyberpunk's major 2.0 update, which 2.0 update, which arrives next week.
Maybe we should shelve that till Monday.
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot to be able to talk about with that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at there's like 7 or 8 paragraphs just in this one article, so I didn't want to try and skim it. So yeah, we'll come back on that one next week. I mean, we've got a long history of talking about Cyberpunk. For a period of time, we were joking that we should call it the Cyber Scoop because that's all we were speaking about. Naturally, it dominated video game news for a good chunk of time, so we'll shelve it for now. Instead, what we'll jump into is this free game. Boop. Friday, written by Morgan Park and Lincoln Carpenter at PC Gamer. This is what's free on the Epic Game Store this week. So September 14th, yesterday, 4 p.m.-ish UK time, till September the 21st, which is next Thursday. The free game is 911 Operator. So the article says, it's not a gameplay fantasy I've wanted to explore, but if you've ever wanted to simulate the experience of handling the panicked calls of people in potentially dire emergencies, the Epic Store's got your back this week. In 911 Operator, act as an emergency dispatcher and manage the risk that, as the description says, quote, the person on the other side of the line might turn out to be a dying daughter's father, an unpredictable terrorist, or just a prankster, end quote. Fun! Video games are fun, says the end of the article. So there you go. Sounds weird as fuck, but this could be one of those like wonderful games that comes out of nowhere, like Papers, Please. Do you want to work as a person that checks people's passports as they're coming in and out of a country? No? Well, Papers, Please allows you to do that in a video game, and it was hugely successful. So 911 Operator could be that, but as an emergency dispatcher. So yeah, feel free to check it out. If it sounds something that you might be interested in, well, it's free to get on the Epic Game Store. All you need to do is check it out from the launcher or from browser, whatever. Add it to your library, and you've got it there free forever. Sound a bit of you, babe?
I actually already have this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually have this game. It is very, very fun. Again, a little bit stressful, but yeah, it is a good game. It is a good game. It's definitely worth picking up, especially for free. Do you know what I mean? It's free game Friday,
exactly.
baby.
Free game.
But yeah, definitely pick it up. It's very good.
Nice. I'm waiting for the 2.0 update to try Cyberpunk, says P. Honey. P. Honey also said, Pirate Lou swears by Dave the Diver. He says it's one of the best games he's played. Marky Bamba, one of the ICU/Jelly team, says same. Game of the year for him. He absolutely loves it. So, yeah. It's a big game to play when it comes to Switch, confirmed from that conference. I'll wait for the UK version. What? 999? Mate? Nice. So yeah, to cover that, we went through everything that was in the PlayStation State of Play, then the Nintendo Direct. We skipped past Cyberpunk 2077's 2.0 update, but we will come back to that next week. And then we told you about the free game on Epic Game Store this week, which is 911 Operator, which you can get right now and until Thursday. But that is it for us. We are going to wrap things up. We appreciate you dropping in for the scoop and for the pre-show. Anyone that did do that, thank you very much. For now, though, we are going to disappear. A reminder that there will be games this weekend. Both myself and Bib are bringing you gameplay streams. I will be doing some PUBG. Bib will be doing DMZ Warzone and or eFootball. But the timings of those are still TBC. Usually I stream Saturday morning, Bib streams Friday evening. And that might be the same, but it might not be. We might switch things around. We haven't confirmed it between ourselves. That's the reason why we can't confirm. So, yeah, keep your eyes on our socials and stuff and you find out that information. But before any of that happens, Mr. Bib, is there what you'd like to add?
Yes, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for the 3 episodes of The Scoop this week. There may be 5 next week, but the only way you can find out is to follow us on all of our social media accounts, which is at Ice Cream World across all major social media platforms. Alternatively, get involved with our Discord if you're not already in there. What you're playing at, we're on episode like 900 at this moment in time. We mention it every single episode. Links are in the description below. But if you want to help shape those shows, 2 ways you can do so. First of all, find us on social media, as I previously alluded to, at Ice Cream Uploads, or get involved with our Discord again, as I previously just alluded to. There's a little area in there called The Scoop. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what time next week? Instagram Day.
That time next week will be at, I don't know, 10 a.m.-ish or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I just need to keep things dragged out for just a few seconds.
Keep dragging it.
There we go. Nice. Okay, the reason I was dragging things out is because of this on screen. Now, this is AFC Stockport. Yeah, where Bibby plays. Like, see that? The sponsored player, Kyle Daly, sponsored by something else. We'll skip forward one. Skip forward another one. There we go. AFC sponsor. Michael Meehan is proudly sponsored by Ice Cream Uploads. Yeah!
Let's go!
Nice. Woo! So Bibby didn't know that was happening, but we sponsored him. So you can sponsor players. There's no way we're not like... I mean, why do you think we wanted Bibby to be the people that's got to win the fucking penalty shootout last night? So yeah, Ice Cream Uploads, proud sponsor of Michael Meehan for AFC Stockport.
Yeah. Did you have to supply him with the image?
No, they had the image, the ICU image. Yeah, I give them a cut out, like transparent one. For some reason, it's got a white background. I don't know why, but I'll leave it as is. But yeah, I passed over the logo and stuff, and then they did the Bibby with the run.
Well, the assets that I've been doing for the team, I'm definitely going to start putting Ice Cream Uploads or logos on it then.
You're fucking goddamn right. So
Let's fucking go.
We are proud sponsor of AFC Stockport Legions, number 28. Michael Bibby, we've got Babinho Meehan. Let's go.
That's me. I did ask him if I asked him like 4 years ago to just have Bibby, please. I was like, no, you have to put the league name on there. I was like, for fuck's sake.
So yeah, there you go. Nice. Now I expect a hat trick this weekend, babe. Now we've thrown money behind
with his calf injury? I'm already injured 100%. 3 games into the season, but I'll still be there. Don't you worry about that.
Goddamn right. So yeah, we are going to disappear. We'll be back 10 a.m.-ish on Monday, as Bibby was just saying then, as well as over the weekend with some game time. But for now, stick around. We're going to drop a raid on one of our friends. We don't know who it is because we've been permanent Bibby and it's football. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, yeah.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah.
Have yourselves a good weekend. Stick around for the raid. And until next time, what they got to do, babe?
They got to save Rossi.
Nice.